everybody, and welcome back to some more Subnauticraft, or Oceanblock 2 if you would prefer. Today, we're going to be doing something very odd. I'm going to automate goop. This is the goop. It's called Blaze Bloom Goop. A, I'm going to need to upgrade this goop before we can automate it. And B, we need to automate it so that way we can actually successfully kill a wither to be able to progress through the mod pack. Also, we need to automate goop to progress through the mod pack. For us to upgrade our goop, we are going to need to get ourselves to Void Shimmer goop. For us to get that, it's going to be very simple. We're going to need our Blaze Bloom and something called an Abyssal Pearl, which just takes some of these abyssal fragments that I had gotten a couple episodes ago when I had gotten myself my weaponry. So we're going to need to get ourselves an Abyssal Pearl. But the problem is we don't actually have enough of these abyssal fragments. So we're going to need to get another one at the very least. This is also going to play into something else that we are going to need. As in order for us to progress to get to the goo after this one, we're also going to need to get ourselves some amethyst. And I believe I know of a boss that should hopefully drop these fragments that also has some amethyst near it. Now, I know this does not look like goo automation, but trust me, it is all for the process. You gotta trust the process. Okay, yes, there is some amethyst. Now, I could grab the budding amethyst with my spell Breaking Back. So I was like, we can go ahead and grab that. Okay, well, I guess I don't get the thing this time. Where are you? Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Oh, you are not healthy. You are not healthy. Okay. Oh, gosh. Ow. Can I have the boss yet? Oh. There we go. There is no way I got an elytra. I also got a Heart of the Sea, which actually helped me make the heart. Dude, we're so deep in the money. That's the wrong way. Well, I didn't really need the budding amethyst in the end since I can replicate it. So let's just go ahead, throw that there right now. But there we go. Now we do have ourselves that amethyst shard, which what we would use that for is we would actually use it to make ourselves some echo shards. But I also kind of... I believe I already have that. I already got them because I had a loot drop. So it's like, I don't actually need amethyst for anything, but if I ever need it in the future, we got it. And then the last thing for that line would just be to grab myself some skulk, and there we go. Either way though, now that we have enough for that, we should now be able to make ourselves our Abyssal Pearl. And while we're here, we can also go ahead and make ourselves the mixer, which this is going to be made in, which isn't too complicated. And there we go. Now we have almost everything. There is just two more things that we are going to need to grab. One of which is going to be our goo from right here. So let's go ahead and grab that. And then the other thing is going to be some polymorphic acid. Now, is there any in the immediate vicinity? There is. But I feel like it would just be quicker to be able to make some right now. So, for us to get that, we are actually just going to need to grab ourselves this polymorphic catalyst, and we can just throw it in the water. I didn't want to do that, but I'll take it. Now what we need to do, we need to go down into here, and then put this mixer underneath the crystal, and then we put those in together. Okay, so once I go ahead and then put it in this, we should be good to go. Oh, I just barely... Oh, I missed it. Oh, but there we go. We got ourselves our Void Shimmer goo. So let's see. If I go ahead and put this down, actually, it may also start eating the rest of this. But let's see. What do you consume? Okay, it eats coarse fruit and ender pearls. Well, let's see. If I go ahead and put this in here, will it... Okay. So it'll just start consuming things automatically, but holy crap, that is fast. So now that we have the goo properly in place, now I just need to automate it. I have an idea as to how I want to do that, but I'm not entirely certain on all the specific details. So for me to do this, I'm going to need to go ahead and grab myself 4 of these block placers, because I did add this to my replication as well. And what these things are going to do is exactly what they say. They're going to place a block right in front of it whenever I have it put into place. So if I were to put in the stone, it places stone. We just go ahead and have these guys placed out like this. And I'm going to have this be somewhat of a manual automation because I don't want it to always be going for a few reasons that I will get into later. But there we go. Now those things are there. And if I did want this to be completely automated, I would probably do a clicker when it comes to this. But since it's going to be using ender pearls, I'm not sure I want to do that. Well, if I want to do a sort of passive automation that's somewhat manual as well. Plus, getting the clickers not that difficult either. It just takes some fairy core, lapis, redstone dispenser, and I have ender. So it's actually very easy for me to get. So yeah, we can go ahead and work with this. Okay, I think I found out how I'm going to work with this clicker. So when we look at this, we can actually set this thing to work on redstone signals. So the tick speed would be irrelevant. We would actually just need to set this one to a pulse. And then we can just go ahead and then send this thing back down. So once this thing gets a redstone pulse, it would then work on this thing. However, we don't really have a way for this thing to actually read the redstone right now. And we won't, because the stuff would get in the way, so there'd be no way for us to get like an observer on there. Fortunately, I do know of a way for me to do this, but it's gonna be a little bit annoying. What I'm gonna need is I'm gonna need this thing right here called a sensor, which is actually going to take the aforementioned observer, and then we can just go ahead and make this simple sensor. I don't know what the simple sensor itself does though, because it's not actually the one we want. What we want is going to be the advanced sensor. And this is actually going to coincide with the breaker for how we're going to break our blocks, which is an advanced breaker. For us to get both of these, we need Celeste Gem. So let's go ahead and then activate this, and then we can just go ahead and place the blocks right in here. And would you look at that? It works very nicely, in fact. Okay, so then if we just go ahead and add all of these. I mean, this mod has just always been kind of cool, man. Like, I am so glad that I learned a bit about this mod from Neotech. I didn't learn much about these machines. Like, this is all new stuff to me. But with the stuff from the Goos and stuff, it is really freaking cool. Alrighty, one more, and there we go. Now we got ourselves our Celeste Gems. So what we now are going to need to do is we're just going to need to go ahead and take this down here, and then we can craft ourselves our advanced sensor. Then we're also going to want to go ahead and craft ourselves our advanced breaker. I'd already made the simple breaker prior. With these things, we are going to need to do an offset, which is why this thing needed to be powered. So let me go ahead and show the render area. This is what we need to sense. We need to move that one over to there. And then if I go ahead and then turn this one on, I believe we may actually be able to increase the radius of these things. That way this one will like just go huge. So there's still a few more kinks that I'm going to need to work out with this thing, which I don't entirely know how I'm going to do those right yet. So I'm going to go ahead and figure that out, and I will come back with the final product
later.
Alrighty, I got it all set up. I think this should work. So what I've changed is I moved the sensor and the advanced block breaker up here because I remembered this thing needs to get the redstone signal to this, and it's not going to do that unless it's touching it. Yeah, I didn't think that one through. So I just moved these guys up here. I reconfigured all of them. And I changed out the absorption hopper for the Just Dire Things item collectors because those ones had filters, so that way I wouldn't be picking up unnecessary things. Which ended up being an unnecessary decision, as I decided to use some simple compacting drawers to be able to compact the tiny coals into the coal blocks for these things. And that way it would just work. And now I also have a logic cable with the primal coal block specifically put into it. So now if I put that into there, it should automatically get taken out. And there we go. So that's just going to slowly but surely take over. And once it is done, we should now have ourselves our blaze ember. There we go. I mean, that's just a thumbnail shot right there. Boop. Now all we gotta do is just gotta put the pickaxe in here with its blacklists. There we go. And then that's going to then compact everything else up there. And we're just gonna keep getting ourselves our blaze embers. So here's what I'm gonna do now. We all know how I need to get the tinted glass. It is a very simple recipe. I am going to get that out of the way, and then I'm going to build the room off screen. And then I will take on the wither.
Eventually.
Alrighty, it's the moment of truth. I've managed to build up the small room here, so hopefully this won't blow anything up. It might be able to blow through the corners. It should hopefully be fine. So, here we go. Okay, he's rising. Let's see. How's this gonna go? Okay. He did indeed blow it up, but it's not too much of a problem. So, let's then go ahead and, can he see me? Oh gosh, he can explode. He's actually killing himself, so I might not need to do anything. Actually, I can't reach you. Oh, I can't reach it. Do I have like a bow or anything that I can use? Because if I can use just a bow, then I don't have a bow, but I know I do have a bunch of arrows locked away. So it's just like, yeah, let's go ahead and just do that. That way, we can at least get this to work. So, break it open again, and then just shoot him a bit. There we go. There we go. That's doing some more damage, because him exploding himself just was not working. Okay, there we go. Now he's free of that. So, oh, but I still can't reach him, and now he's lowered himself, so he's not getting hurt by that. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do that, and there we go. Oh, there we go. There's the damage. Oh, but I am getting hurt real bad, but it's fine. So, he's almost dead. There we go. There we go. Okay, but I am gonna die. So, that is an unfortunate event, but, oh well. What can, oh, well, I might not die. Hold on. Am I not dying? I may live. Oh, I'm not gonna live. Oh, I am absolutely not gonna live. Okay, well, goodbye. Well, let's just go ahead and teleport back over to here and just grab ourselves the Nether Star. So we can just go ahead and add this baby to the list. Just slowly scanning the Nether Star. Oh my gosh, and there we go. Now, if we look in here, we should find, there it is, the Nether Star. Wow, that takes a lot, though. Oh my gosh, that takes quantum. I have very little quantum. To be fair, though, there is not many things that go into it. Oh, ender pearls go into it. Oh, also, speaking of ender pearls, I don't get this thing, but it doesn't seem to actually work as I thought it did. I had it down, and it just stops working whenever the things change. It doesn't seem to affect it in the way that an observer did, like I thought it would. It just senses if there's a block there to the requested parameters and then emits a redstone signal. Evidently, my semi-automation didn't actually work.
Tomorrow.
Hey, Future Cookie here. I gotta be real quiet because it's like 3 in the morning for me, as I forgot to edit this video earlier. I had to make this because I realized I ended things off anticlimactically, so I'm here to explain a few other things that kind of weren't conveyed properly, which was why we needed these things, and why we don't really need those things, and also why this setup does work. It's just not on that specific version of the goo. Don't worry about what this is. This is not important. That's for way later in the series. The original goo would not work normally with the simple clicker because the ender pearls would always constantly get thrown. So that was not good. So we had to have a redstone signal on this thing to make sure that it wouldn't do that. So we had this advanced sensor right here to sense when this thing would not activate in an effort to make sure that it would know when it would change. But this ended up not working, as we saw. So the reason why we don't need this, though, is that if I literally just did not upgrade the goo, yes, I wouldn't have necessarily been able to get the advanced block breaker, but I would have still at least been able to use this with just blaze powder. As of right now, I am currently at the shadow pulse as I have progressed further along than you are all seeing, so I am able to use skulk as its current fuel source. But still, the setup does work, just not on the Celeste gem. So just to make sure that you all didn't think it was too anticlimactic, there you go. So did you like this video? Good. And be sure to check out our last Subnauticraft where we went on our pet quest. Bye-bye!